Hi, this is Barry J. McDonald, and I'd like to welcome you to today's blog post over at writecom.com. And today's blog post is how to start fiction writing. Now, if you've never written fiction before, but you have, you'd like to try it out, you could go down the route of buying expensive courses and buying books on character creation and storyline and plotting and things like that. But I would recommend is just holding off on that first and saving your money and just trying, maybe just starting with something small to see if you actually have a like for whether you like fiction writing, because if you go down this path, you're going to be spending a lot of time sitting down at your keyboard typing away, and if the thought of actually doing that totally repels you, well then fiction writing isn't for you. So rather than wasting that money maybe and buying all those different courses and books and things like that, which just basically just to sit down yourself today and just write a small piece. It could be a simple scene between two characters. To make it easier yourself, maybe just pick two TV characters you know well and have the two of them sitting down face to face, over a cup of coffee in a coffee shop, and write out that scene. And then from that you're going to see then how you enjoyed the process, if you wanted to go further with it. And then if you do want to go further with it, then maybe put a couple of those scenes together and create a simple short story. How it ends or where it starts is totally up to you. The fact that you're probably nobody's going to read it, but it's going to give you an idea of whether you enjoyed the process, how you found it. Because if you don't enjoy fiction writing, your readers aren't going to enjoy reading it. And then as well then too, like in these early stages, you're writing, be prepared for your writing to suck. You're never going to write the Harry Potter on the very first draft. Be prepared that your writing is going to suck, and but over time with a little work it will improve. So don't be alarmed that maybe your fiction writing isn't as good as you thought it would be. No matter what you do, the more you practice it and the more you work on it, you'll get better. So even though your fiction writing might suck today, with a little bit of work tomorrow, it'll be a small improvement. And again, each day after that, it'll be, small improvement. So 6 months from now, the fiction writing that you could be writing could be completely different than what you're writing today. So be prepared to suck, And again then too as well, I recommend you don't show your work to anybody. Keep it to yourself, because there's more writers have given up writing because of a snide remark or a comment from maybe a friend or relation who sneered at their work, and because of that they just threw it away. So you're going to get things like that. So that's why I recommend you keep your work to yourself. And again too, like even if you do get bad reviews or kind of comments about your work, not to take it personally, even though you've probably put your heart into that little piece of fiction that you put together. You're going to need to put some distance between yourself, and you're going to need to form a thick skin, because at the end of the day, no matter how good your fiction writing is, there's always going to be people who are not going to like it and who are going to give it a bad review. So try and distance yourself from it. With any bad review you're getting is aimed at the work rather than you. So don't take it personally. Again, in 6 months' time, your work is going to be far, far different, and your next piece could be completely different. It could be the successful piece that you hoped it would be. So be prepared to suck. And then another point too is to read more fiction. If you're going to get good at fiction, you have to see what other people are writing. So read good fiction. Now, when I say read good fiction, that doesn't mean you have to sit down and read the classics and stuff like that. If your favorite reading is even romance novels or whatever, keep reading those romance novels, because you're going to pick up points from that. There's no point in sitting down reading books that you're not going to enjoy reading, and that's why I recommend you should find something that you're interested in and continue to read it. But as you do so, pay attention to how the author creates scenes, how the characters move in those scenes, and dialogue and things like that, how they interact with the physical things that are in the room that they might be in. So pay attention to those things as you're reading fiction, and then once you've kind of noticed a couple of things, then go back to that small scene that you've written or the short story. Have a look at how you've written the dialogue. So rewrite that scene then using the things and tips you've learned from how the author created the scenes, how the characters talk to each other, how they interacted. Rather than a lot of beginning authors have characters kind of standing in kind of white space. It seems like that they're not interacting with anything and they hardly make any bodily movements. So even like two characters sitting in a coffee shop, you're going to have one maybe just nervously tapping their foot, and then you're going to have someone else then maybe could be playing with a coffee cup and being nervous and coy or whatever, playing with their hair or something like that. So pay attention to how the author goes through their scenes and try and carry that over to your work then to improve your writing. And then another point then where you can actually improve your fiction writing in a big way is to actually take pieces of fiction that you think are good fiction and sit down and write them out word for word. Now, although it might seem laborious and a long kind of winded way of doing it, by actually paying attention to fiction in this way and slowing yourself down by writing it word for word, you'll notice that you'll pick up different things that the author uses, how the dialogue and the scenes and stuff like that. But when you're reading it, sometimes you can just kind of skim over these things and you don't really take them in. But by actually sit down and writing it out word for word, you'll notice those things. And as well then to, by osmosis, by writing it out of what that author had written that day, you'll actually take on some of their kind of writing. So in 6 months' time or a year from now, by doing this on a regular basis, even if you've done nothing else with your fiction writing, but actually just wrote out pieces of fiction, your fiction writing would get a lot stronger. So there you have it. That's how to get started in fiction writing. The biggest point is just to sit down and write. You're never going to know if fiction writing is for you. But then when you do get writing and you find yourself and say, maybe I didn't like the process, I don't think my writing's good enough. Maybe it isn't, but maybe you need some work on it. We don't be quick to dismiss it. But if you don't actually sit down and write your first piece, you're never going to know how good it is. So, and even if fiction writing isn't for you, maybe you could take up maybe some other kind of fiction, or some other kind of writing, whether it's non-fiction or something else. That's why I recommend, if you come over to writecom.com, we have a great report which shows you 10 ways to make 10 ways to make money from writing. Only one of them is actually from fiction writing. There's other ways you can actually make money from writing. So after going through this process and maybe you feel that fiction writing isn't for you, come on over and pick up our free report and have a look and see what maybe other ways you can make money from your writing. So my name's been Barry J. McDonald and this has been today's blog post of writecom.com. Thank you. Bye bye.